Hello everyone, MP Hater here, and welcome back to my newcomer's guide for Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This is part 3. In the last episode, we ended up being the Chained Ogre. We also ended up making our way to the Harada Estate, did a few things there as well, which we will be doing some more of that in a little while. For now, though, we're going to continue in the Ashina outskirts area. So I'm going to go ahead and sit down and rest, because I did not do that at the end of the last episode. And then I'm going to kill these guys. And I was kind of brief about it in the last episode, but this guy has, he commonly uses a thrusting attack, and you can basically counter him with something called the Makiri counter. It's one of the abilities that I recommended that you get. It's one of the first kind of key abilities, in fact. And while this guy happens to have a pole arm, you can use it against anybody who's doing a thrusting attack with you, or against you. So be aware of that. As far as how to do it, you basically just hold in the direction with your, I guess, the analog stick, or, you know, if you're using keys, that's fine too. And then you're going to press B, which in my case is what does dash. So you'll press the direction that the enemy is attacking from and dash, and then you'll end up doing the Makiri counter. For this particular enemy, you're able to follow it up basically with an immediate death blow. For other enemies, it won't be that simple, but you will still be able to at least stop a thrust. So we'll go ahead and grab that Mibu Balloon of Wealth, then we're going to go ahead and pop in through here. So we're going to go through and grab a gourd seed. We'll take that to Emma a little bit later, and a ceramic shard. Worth mentioning, there is a shortcut in there, however we have not unlocked it yet. So out here we have quite a few enemies, as well as a mini-boss in the center here. He's very similar to the previous two mini-bosses that we fought that were like him, the one without armor and the one with armor. However, he's surrounded by a bunch of guys now. He also does a thrust attack, unlike the previous one. So, again, they're kind of adding more and more onto that particular enemy type. But otherwise, he's very similar to what we've fought before. So this area is kind of a pain in the butt to do silently. You're probably going to be seen here, so just be aware of that. But I'm going to try to complete this area quietly. This guy, by the way, will not turn around, so I don't usually worry about him until later. We're going to sneak over here, and basically what we're trying to do is we want to avoid the guy with the gun right there, and the guy who will kind of smack on a bell over there from being alerted. They're the ones that are going to be the most troublesome for us. We're going to kind of sneak over here. And again, you may get lucky, you may not, but what we want to do is we want to climb this out of view of the guy with the gun over there. And then once we get on top, we immediately want to press L3 in order to crouch. So we'll see if that actually works. If not, that's fine. And it didn't work. So you may get lucky. I probably get lucky maybe 2 times out of 4 or something, 2 times out of 5. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kill him. That's gonna incite these guys to come after you. Alright, so he's done with. We're going to climb up here. And we're going to see if this guy turns around. If he does, we should be able to stealth him pretty easy. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about this guy. Get him in the center here. So it kind of has the same thing going on, likes his sweep attacks. Remember that attack. He's basically charging up. Again, you can jump on his head with that. You can actually catch him in the middle of that 1-2 swing, by the way, and hit him with the sword. Oh, I did not see the thrust in time. Otherwise, though, not a very complicated mini-boss. I will say if you're having struggles with him, remember that you do have some prosthetics. We have the Shinobi Firecracker, which will end up getting him, what do you call it? What's the word? Stunned. And then that's probably going to be the best thing to use against him. I don't use that typically against these guys, though, but if you have trouble with them, that would be something. In addition, this guy, if you simply keep doing thrusts against him, that's another thing he doesn't do very well with. Usually he'll catch the first one, and then he won't catch the others that you do against him if you keep repeating them. So give that a try if you need it. So we're going to get the scrap iron. That'll give us upgrade materials for later. And then we're going to pop over here. Grab some divine confetti. Now, if you want to, you could potentially go down here. This leads to our first headless. However, we are ill-equipped to handle a headless at this point. But you could kind of run past them, get some early items if you really wanted to. I'm not going to worry about it, though. We'll come back for it later. So we're going to come around here. And you'll notice this broken bridge, by the way. Eventually, we're going to get over there. However, we're going to go kind of the long way around to get there. As well as in the very end of the game, kind of the last section, whenever the place is being attacked by... I won't spoil that, but the place will be attacked. They're going to rebuild this bridge, and then the special secret boss, the Demon of Hatred, will actually be fought by running back through here, back to that area back there. So that's going to be kind of what this becomes a little later. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and drop off here. We've got a pellet. This will also cause some of these enemies to drop down. I usually just don't worry about them. They don't give enough experience to justify even bothering killing them most of the time. So I'm going to go ahead and rest there. We're going to go ahead and drop down. Going to get a spirit emblem. Then we're going to drop down here. Drop down here. Okay, so we're about to deal with a giant snake. What we want to do is, if you are like me and you don't want to have to wait for it, then you can basically just jump down there and immediately jump over there. And you can grapple to that point there and just make a run for it. Otherwise, though, if you're a little slow about this, then what will happen is you'll basically jump on top of there, jump down, the snake will come out, and you'll have to hide in the bushes, waiting for him to basically look the other way. So I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. That's usually the way that I do this. And that allows me to get over here fast, and I don't end up having to wait for him to show up and kind of slither. Oops. He saw me. But hey, that's what happens when you're impatient. And we did lose 100 sen, by the way, as well as our progress to the next level. Some of our progress, I should say, to the next level. Oh well. Not much we can do about that. Yeah, as long as you don't just, you know, stay there, you'll be fine. Alright. Now we'll do it the right way. We'll wait for him to look away, and then we're going to wall hug. We want to get into that little thing right there. And he's going to pop his eye over. Now you'll see an item in the distance there. I'm actually going to go for it, but you can choose not to if you don't want to. It's just a snap seed. But I usually go for it. Snap seeds are good for dealing with enemies that use illusions. And that snake is not happy with me. Alright, so we're going to climb up here. Before we climb all the way up, though, we're going to run over here. Grab Nako's sugar. Again, gives us increased attack power. Then we're going to climb up here for another Goshin sugar. Again, that gives us the ability to be invisible, semi-invisible, I should say. And we're going to stealth kill this guy, if we can. Oh. Yes, no. So if you're having trouble with this guy, by the way, I will show you that we can use the loaded axe. It works pretty well against him. Don't let him grab onto you, by the way. If he does, he will end up basically breaking your back. Anyway, we get an herb catalog scrap by if we kill him. So, basically tells us a little bit about snap seeds since we already found one of those. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and clear out this area. We are not going to tackle the boss yet, though. We're actually going to head over to the Harada Estate after we do that and try to get ourselves another prayer bead. So that way we can get a little bit better prepared for this particular fight. So, let's see. Got the ability to buy some skills. Let's go for the chasing slice next. By the time we come back around, we are going to be buying the grappling hook attack. That'll help us with this this boss fight, which is, in my opinion, a pretty hard boss fight. So, at least for new players, anyway. All right, so we got a bunch of items here. I usually like to go off the side here first. We have a eavesdrop conversation here we can do. Dude's kind of sad about his horse. Fistful of ash, and then we got one of these guys. Come up here for a pellet. This, by the way, is unlocked a little bit later. Now, if you want to tackle the boss, you know, right now, jump down there and head towards that. You'll fight Gyoubu. However, we are not going to fight him quite yet. So there's a eavesdrop opportunity. There's also another remnant here. This one happens to be between Genichiro and Kuro. And what we want to do is there is one of those things over here. I'm going to try to stealth kill that thing first. We'll go ahead and kill these guys. They have seen me now, so... Okay, and that's all of the enemies that are out here. A couple of items to get. Ceramic shard, Gyoubu balloons, heavy coin purse. Okay. And I think that's it. Yeah. So, we have cleared out this area, gotten some items. We're going to go ahead and head back to Hirata Estate now. Actually, we'll head back to the dilapidated temple first and give Emma our gourd seed. Also let her know that we died.
I'm glad this power, it's said the let I this power, it's the let I don't. Goodbye.
Okay, that's gonna be good. We'll go ahead and head now back to Hirata Estate. So again, kind of up to you how you do this, but I usually get this guy next. And this guy. And finally that guy. Now remember, we unlocked the shortcut here, so we should be able to basically just roll through here fairly quickly. If you didn't hear their eavesdrop, you can go ahead and eavesdrop on them. We'll kill this guy first. Alright, so the next thing that we're about to deal with are some enemies that have shields that are made of wood. We're going to need to cut them apart in order to get access to the enemies themselves. So we'll go ahead and make sure we have the loaded axe equipped, and then I'm going to kill this guy first. As you can see, once you destroy the shield, these ones become pretty much immediately able to be death blowed. Alright, so this next area has a few enemies in it. We also have a mini-boss. We want to make sure that we're only fighting one enemy at a time, so what I'm probably going to do is, I think I'm going to drop down here. Just kind of avoid all these enemies, and I'm going to stealth kill this guy's first health bar. And then I'm going to immediately go after the other two that are out here. The other one's going to be chasing us because, again, he's not killed by a single attack. And just wait for him to do another thrust. Or not. So there's our fourth prayer bead. If you have to kill these guys first, then kill these guys first. Sometimes they will come to the other guy's defense. Sometimes they'll just kind of hang out here like they've done here. And then up here we have pellets. Over here we have Amiibo Possession Balloon and another Sculptor's Idol. So we now have 4 prayer beads to use. We can go ahead and consume prayer beads to enhance the max vitality and posture, which is going to be super useful to us. So it's kind of up to you now. We got a couple of things that we could potentially do. We could either continue this area and probably reach another mini-boss. We could also, I would say, go back to fight Gyoubu. Me personally, I think the 2 mini-bosses that we have to deal with in this place are more difficult than Gyoubu. So I'm actually going to recommend that we head over to Gyoubu first. And then once we deal with Gyoubu, we'll come back over here and deal with some of the enemies that are here. Any bosses that are here, specifically. So let's go ahead and head back over to Ashina Outskirts and the Gate Fortress. And we pretty much have a direct path right from the get-go directly to Gyoubu. Okay, so let's talk about this fight. Gyoubu is going to be on horseback. We are going to want firecrackers, chiefly. Those are going to be our most useful item for this. You could hit him with a flame vent if you really wanted to, but we're going to burn through our items too quickly, so I'm just going to recommend the firecrackers. As far as items are concerned, nothing super special here that we can use against him, but if you want to try for Akko's Sugar, you certainly can. In addition, we do have 1 skill point, so I totally forgot. So what I think we're going to go ahead and do is spend it on the ability to do some attacks after we latch on to the enemy. Or grapple to the enemy, I should say. So I would say, if you have the ability to do so, go ahead and acquire skills. We're going to go ahead and grab the grappling hook attack. And I got 600 sen. I'm going to go ahead and purchase some spirit emblems. You could go back to one of the vendors and buy something from them, but I haven't been using the purses, so we should have plenty of money from those. And you can never have too many spirit emblems. That is for sure. Alright, so now we have that ability. That's going to help us in this fight a little bit. Okay. So, when we get on the battlefield, Gyoubu is going to come out on horseback. He has a pole arm. And he swings it around maniacally pretty much the entire fight. We're just going to go ahead and drop down and start seeing his attacks. So we basically want to kind of follow him around the arena. So as you can see, he's staggered there. So kind of your goal is to try to get him staggered. When he does that, you kind of have two options. You can either block and try to do a deflect against it, or you can grapple his head and do it that way. Again, if you can get him to attack you like that and get off balance, that'll be best. So try to avoid that if you can. And again, if you hit him with those, you'll basically be able to stagger him as well with some hits. So again, pretty much the gist of this fight. So he does have a couple of other attacks he'll occasionally do. Sometimes he'll come at you kind of holding his weapon like that. There we go. And you can basically just tap left bumper to avoid it. And then his perilous attack is something that you should basically run away from. Again, most effective to get him knocked off his rocker by blocking those attacks, or deflecting, I should say, those attacks. Again, try to avoid his perilous attacks if you can. Again, as you can see, just me doing my deflects is pushing that bar up really high. So again, either block like that or leap against him. I tend to prefer blocking because you might take damage on the initial start. And then again, as you are leaping in, you can do 2 attacks as you're landing. Otherwise, your main goal is going to be trying to catch him with those deflections. So, that gives us our first memory. We can use these memories in order to permanently increase our attack power. Eventually, we'll also get an item that allows us to trade for basically attack power. We have to trade 5 points, basically. 5 skill points for an attack power upgrade, but otherwise we can obtain them from bosses. And then we also get the mechanical barrel. This is going to help us with increasing our capabilities with the shinobi prosthetics, so we're going to need to go talk to the sculptor again. So another thing that was unlocked is something called a reflection of strength. So a reflection of strength allows you to fight a boss again. However, it's going to be a slightly harder version of the boss, so just be aware of that. Generally, their attacks are going to hit a lot harder. And then another thing that's worth mentioning too is that any items that you use while you're in the reflection of strength, you regain after combat. So if you want to, practice against these bosses, again, these are harder versions, slightly harder versions, I should say, of the main bosses. And then later, we'll actually gain access, once you complete them anyway, we'll gain access to the inner versions of certain bosses. And those are going to end up being even harder versions. They also have different combos in some cases. In fact, a couple of the bosses are distinctly different enough that they're very different fights, namely Inner Owl and Inner Genichiro. So, but otherwise, you can do that. We're going to go and do the enhance option, though, for confronting Gyoubu. And again, that's going to give us a upgrade on our damage output. And then we also have the ability to buy some more skills. So, again, we kind of have some choices here on where we want to begin progressing. That being said, though, I'm actually going to hold off because I want to gain something called the Ashina Arts. So we're actually about to gain access to that, which is where we're going to start using a lot of our upcoming levels for. So hold off on using anything for the moment unless you're just chomping at the bit for something. And what we're going to go ahead and do is head inside. So I'm going to run in here real quick. We'll kill this guy. I'm going to climb up here, pop off the right-hand side here, and we want to kill this guy. So you can eavesdrop on these guys if you want to. You don't have to kill these guys if you don't want to, but you certainly can. In addition, these are ones that actually can be very easily killed with the shinobi axe, unlike the ones with the funnier shaped hat. So I'll go ahead and kill this one. So basically, you can hit them and you can cut their hat in half. Gives you a death blow capable option. Alright, so the main guy that we wanted to kill, though, was the guy that was behind this tree. This guy is a rat, and we're going to go report that we killed the rat to a guy that we're going to go find. So we're going to head back to the Gyoubu battlefield. And we're going to head up those stairs. You're going to see some dead people here. We're going to go inside here in a moment. For the moment, come over here. We're going to grab more ceramic shards, and we have another memorial mob. So, he's got a gourd seed to buy. Wouldn't be a bad idea to grab that. So, I'm going to go ahead and see how much I've got. So, I've got 12 light coin purses. So I should be able to use 9 of them. We're going to grab a gourd seed. And antidote powder would be fine. So we're going to come in here, we're going to talk to this guy. So this guy's going to give us the name Sekiro. Go ahead and accept, and you're going to get a description of the rat that you need to find. We've already killed him, however. So just go ahead and talk to him. And he's going to give us the Ashina Esoteric Text, which is where we're going to be learning a lot of skills out of. So lots of good stuff. We're going to come over here, grab a pellet. You can come over here and talk to this old woman. We can also open up this, which is the shortcut that we saw earlier. And we're also going to go ahead and head up the stairs. And around here we got another like coin purse. And then we're going to head up here. And then up here. And we want to get up there, so we're going to go around and climb up. So we got another prayer bead. So now we're going to go ahead and head back over to Emma. And the sculptor.
I'm glad.
Go ahead and give her your gourd seed.
This power, it's the repeat. Goodbye.
It's ended. What different? With the purifier.
Alright, so now we have the ability to gain upgrades. So we don't have the money to do so right now, and none of the items that we have the ability to get at the moment are that important to us. But we will probably be heading towards some better firecrackers, I would say. Shurikens are always good as well. In fact, firecrackers and shurikens are probably the two best of the shinobi prosthetic gear that we have in the game, whereas everything else tends to be more focused on very situational stuff, and their upgrades especially are going to be quite good too. So we'll be coming for those a little bit later when we have more money, but I would not waste the money that we have right now on any of that yet.
With the mechanic actor.
But with that, I think that's going to wrap it up. In the next episode, I think we're going to tackle some more of Harada Estate. We're also going to go deal with the Blazing Bull. But until then, thank you everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Later.